Bruh, you know the crazy part about Drake saying you rapping like you trying to get the slaves freed? That he proved Kendrick right the whole fucking time. This whole battle, Kendrick has been giving Drake surgical assassinations of his character. The main one being that culturally he is not black. He merely is an actor in our culture. And then Drake gonna get on this record and sound like a fucking frat boy? Black Messiah, but you knifing up a mixed queen? Nigga, you're mixed! Then he acting like reverse racism is real, talking about unless you don't want to be seen with anyone that isn't blacker than you. Drake. Oh my God. This is exactly what Kendrick has been saying from the jump, bro. You don't get this shit, bro. No black man will get on a record and say some dumb ass shit like this. Bro really has a white man's understanding of racism. Now I know why he texted his mom that Rick Ross was being racist to him. He thinks Kendrick is being racist. Really, he's just saying that you move to this culture as a white man because you're not even invested in black culture as a whole. You don't speak on no real shit. You don't do no real shit for the community. All that shit went over Drake's head because he can only meet Kendrick at the level of his own understanding of race. I don't think Drake can ever come back from this, for me personally. What do y'all think? Who winning?
Who winning? How about this? Take a look at this young lady. This is how I feel every single time I even think about this mess about who's winning.
Nigga, bomb. Let me see you push a T. I hate the way that you walk, the way that you talk. What is it, the braids? I think niggas like him should die. We don't want to hear you say A minor. O-V-ho.
Tell me that wasn't you. O-V-ho. Okay, fine, let's get back. Because this girl actually, she gets into a dissertation. Check this out.
What happens when you lack it? Am I about to DEI a rap beef? Yes, keep up. Let's talk about it. If you were surprised Drake is being called out as a culture vulture, you haven't been really paying attention to what's been happening within Black culture over the past few years. Black people have become very aware and very vocal and verbal about gatekeeping the culture and revoking these invites to the cookout that were being given away for free. Not only being given away for free, but being given to people who were mimicking aspects of Black culture, being able to do Black dances, being able to rap, do, you know, these silly, oh, she gets an invite to the cookout. Here's where Drake comes into play. Yes, he is a biracial man with a Black American father. However, Drake is not of Black American culture. Drake has no cultural literacy or understanding of Black culture or respect for Black history, Black culture, specifically the Black American experience, which is why he was able to get on a track and use slavery, American slavery, as a bar. Drake hasn't changed. I imagine Drake is sitting somewhere very surprised he's on the receiving end of this backlash because Drake hasn't changed. What's changed is the appreciation of Black culture. And when I say appreciation of Black culture is actually not a correct term. What has changed is the understanding, the appreciation of Black culture that we are seeing within society over the past few years. We are now more connected than ever. We are able to connect with one another on social media. And not only are we able to connect with one another, we see the ways in which our culture is being appropriated, and not only the ways in which Black culture is being appropriated, but people are profiting off of it in a way Black Americans are not able to. This is in front of our face every single day we get on this app, and Black people are pissed about it. Rap music is a creation. It was birthed from Black American culture, Black American struggle, the Black American experience. When you have somebody like Drake, who is not only not of that culture, but has no respect for or appreciation of that culture, and is the top grossing male rapper in the culture, or in the genre rather, that's going to piss a lot of people off. On top of it pissing a lot of people off, Drake never came into rap music paying homage or giving respect to the rappers who came before him. Drake doesn't have an appreciation of Black culture outside of the ways he can use it to cosplay a rapper and the ways he can use it to enrich and benefit himself. That's where his issue lies, because there's a difference between appreciation and appropriation. We've been seeing the same type of appropriation from Drake since he got into the game, but there is an increased appreciation for Black culture and an increased desire to protect it and respect it. And that's where Drake is getting messed up, because he is not respectful of Black culture at all. Drake doesn't care about Black people. Not only is he not respectful of Black culture, he does not seek to educate himself. And there is no literacy there. There is no competency there. There is no understanding there. And there is no desire for any of that to happen on Drake's behalf. What we're seeing right now with Drake and Kendrick Lamar is a perfect example of cultural competency and what happens when you lack.
And that's exactly what Kendrick exposed. But you know what? Let's get in on this dissertation.
I don't think y'all realize how much Not Like Us drove home Kendrick's point. Kendrick Lamar has pretty much been calling out Drake and others who benefit in cosplay from Black culture, but specifically speaking, African American culture. Okay, that is a very, very crucial part of this entire thing. And up until Not Like Us, they were pretty much going tit for tat. Okay, you throw a friendly jab, I'm gonna throw a friendly jab right back. You talk about my crew, I'm gonna talk about your crew. Oh, now you want to talk about families? Okay, bet. Oh, so I got an illegitimate 11-year-old child? Well, your son not yours. Yeah, your child not yours at all. Oh, I like to touch on little kids? Okay, bet. You be beating your wife. Yeah, you be beating your wife. And don't misconstrue tit for tat, theme for theme, for bar, because I feel like Kendrick is a clear winner in all of this, but I digress. They were pretty much keeping up with each other as far as like the theme of song that they were making, until we got to Not Like Us. Once we got to Not Like Us, Kendrick drove his point home by literally going home. That man made a West Coast banger. Like look at this right here. Look at this right here. And I'm not saying others aren't going up to that song, because I feel like the entire world is. I'm on the north side of Atlanta. That's my anthem right now. What are we talking about? Stay with me. About to bring it all full circle. They were going theme for theme until Kendrick took it to his culture. And Drake couldn't do that. And this is no shade to Toronto, Canada. I'm not saying y'all don't have a culture. But what I am saying is one of the biggest rappers in the world, globally, is a Canadian man. And gun to head, outside of Canada, we don't know what a Canadian Toronto rapper sounds like. I can tell you what a Canadian Toronto rapper cosplaying as a Houston rapper sounds like. Cosplaying as an Atlanta rapper sounds like. Hell, pretending like he's from Memphis. I can tell you what that sounds like. But as far as what the Toronto sound sounds like, the rest of the world, we can't tell y'all that. That's crazy. And what I love most about Not Like Us is when Kendrick took his point home, when he took it back to his culture, the West Coast, he told Drake, and don't you dare step foot in Atlanta when you respond to me for this. Because no matter how much you love to pretend, you're not from there.
Exactly. But you know what? I found this young lady, she's Canadian, and she gives us an insight glimpse into why Drake is so disconnected from the culture. And how she says a lot of Black Canadians might be like that. If you are Black and Canadian, let me know if you think this is all cap in the audience, in the comment box. For right now, just listen and hear me out. It's not an excuse. It's an explanation. I think that can explain a lot of Drake's weirdo behavior.
So the whole world's talking about this Drake-Kendrick beef and the diss and how it escalated now. I think there was a shooting last night in Toronto at Drake's house. And I don't particularly have an opinion. I'm from Canada. I was born and raised in Montreal. My parents are Congolese. And the one thing I wanted to address or to talk about is the Canadian Blackness identity. That's a bit like, that can get a bit weird. Being raised and born in Canada, if I'm talking about my own experience, I can say that my Black identity is something that came much later. Like, I didn't have the concept of a lot of the civil rights movement, the this and the that, and like the understanding of the ecosystem, because unless your surroundings, your friends, your family are actively teaching you about Black history, and by Black, I mean like the wide, like Black history, not just like I'm from Congo, I knew the Congolese history, but from a Blackness racism perspective. Canada does not do a good job at all from an education system, and I'll talk about Montreal in the French system, at exposing us to that reality. The first time I heard about the civil rights movement, I was all the way in college. I was 17 years old, and people were talking about a lot of things that just did not exist in our ecosystem. It was just not part of the culture. There's a lot of like different things that get talked a lot about, like language, French, English, being born in Montreal. But this whole like concept of race and what it actually means, and the history, like Black History Month being celebrated, and like even like the transatlantic slavery, like the whole concept, like it didn't actually hit until I was much older. And that's just because Canada does a really good job at erasing and presenting history as they wish. And there's not a lot of like, in Montreal that is, back 20 plus years ago, good concept of like Blackness in history. So I relate to Drake, like honestly, like when it comes to like this whole like just understanding hip hop and relating to it, and just understanding what does it actually mean to be Black in this side of the world. We face racism before we understand the concept. And then comes all, you know, the layers of like colorism, tokenism, and all these other ism that for me got exposed a lot later. Like, I guess what I'm trying to explain is that what you like, as much as I feel roasted when y'all are roasting Drake for not having, for tokenizing, for being a culture vulture, I feel as a Canadian Black immigrant or whatever, I feel like you're like personally attacking me. And like, I know I'm not alone here, and I hope I'll find my people, but like, just be nice, people. It's not our fault. We're not born in the U.S. We're very close to the U.S. The history is a bit different. The societal makeup is a bit different. It's very ambiguous. They don't talk proactively about what happened. It's not like in your face. It's very hush-hush and hidden. And honestly, I don't think that if we weren't so close to the U.S., we would get access to a lot of that information. So, you know, that's it.
Now, I think that she did a really great job experiencing why Drake is so conflicted and really is cosplaying. But that said, and I appreciate her sharing that, and I understand the burden, but Drake don't get no pass. Because at the end of the day, Drake is not only cosplaying, but he's centering himself. He wants to be the loudest voice in the culture, and he's disrespectful with it. He has no respect for the culture. He has no love for the culture. He has no care for the culture, which is why he could call us slaves and think it was going to hit. He don't understand. He don't know. Again, I understand the plight Drake and many like him might be going through in Canada. And yeah, you get sympathy until you come and center yourself in somebody's culture and use that as a way to degrade them. Y'all, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later.